Hello there, and welcome to Dharma Science Radio. My name is Ian, and today we'll be responding to Ra Uru Hu. So let's go on and dive right in.
I have mentioned it a number of times in the last 3 or 4 years. When I was first given the knowledge, it seemed to me that if I focused my attention on generators, they were the majority. They're an energy type. They can discover their strategy and authority almost immediately. That I assumed that the only way that I was going to be able to establish human design in the world was to be able to produce a couple of awake generators. And as such, I spent about 10 years on the road trying to seduce as many generators as I could. They really have pissed me off in my life, but nonetheless, I worked real hard at getting their attention and telling them this real easy thing that would transform their life. And then I realized it isn't working as fast as I thought. So maybe I should pay attention to some of the others, sort of. I'm playing with you, but nonetheless, there's real truth in that.
Wake up the generator, and we wake up the whole world. You know, this was basically the fundamental premise Ra was coming in from in the very beginning for starting human design. You see, as generators, we make up around 70% of the human population, and we have a fixed mechanism within us called a defined sacral center. And this defined sacral center fundamentally means that there is, at every single moment in time, there is a movement forwards or a movement backwards. At every single moment in time, there is a yes, yum, going towards expansion, or there is a no, ugly, bad, get it away, contracting. For the generator aura, it is always functioning forwards or backwards in that way. And this is where the sacral response comes from. When anybody asks a question to a sacral person who's a generator or a type, then that forward or backward momentum begins. And so if you're sacral authority, this means that you can actually trust your gut response in the moment. Somebody says something, somebody asks you a question, and you can respond, and that's it. You can trust it. Now, I personally happen to be an emotional inner authority. I've got my sacral defined to my root, to my solar plexus, to my ego center. And so this means that I have to wait for clarity as an emotional being. And so even though I could say yes right now, that doesn't mean it's really a waited for clarity yes. And even though I could say no right now, that doesn't mean it's really that I've waited for clarity no. For you see, as an emotional being, it means that I have a powerful relationship with awareness. This solar plexus center is incredibly powerful. It dominates this earth. It's actually the most predominant inner authority because if your is defined, it is your authority. It's the most powerful force on this planet. And this is our emotions. And for millennia, the emotions have ruled our lives from ignorance. And this is where Stoicism comes from, is the fact that you can get beyond emotions with logical, rational thought. And for the seven-centered strategic human being, that was the keystone, the cornerstone, the end-all, be-all rationality and the strategy, finding success. And that was the way. And it's a little different nowadays. You see, as generators, we are actually generating the frequency of life force on this planet. If you have an undefined sacral center, then you need to rely upon the defined sacral centers around you for providing life force energy. And that's not a bad thing. You see, the difference is no one man or woman is an island. We don't have every single thing within the totality inside of us that we ever need. We need each other. Because my strengths might be your weaknesses, and my weaknesses might be your strengths. And together, we can rise up into greater and greater heights. And so Ra's original premise here, let me wake up the generator, get them waking up one at a time. They'll start generating a better life force and we can all relax a little bit. Because you see, this generating buzz of the sacral center is always buzz, and it's either bringing in satisfaction, you know, this buzz, this hum of or it's bringing in this brrr, this buzz of unhappiness and frustration, and everything is bad. And so by waking up the generator, at the very least, we're working with the life force of this planet, and we're bringing in some more satisfaction. So it's a sensible place to start, if you ask me.
I find projectors to be, as a manifestor, both something that I am familiar with because we are non-sacral, and at the same time they seem so deeply different. And the great difference for me is that in the way in which I understand type is that I don't understand type from the body graph configuration. I understand type through aura. I mean, for me, the aura represents the holistic energy field, and it is that holistic energy field that allows you to interpret the force that you're meeting. When I meet a generator, I don't even meet the force. I can simply feel it coming around me. It's like stepping into an embrace. Whenever I meet a generator, this is the first impression that I have. And that embrace is never personal. It's the most interesting thing about the generator aura, is that it's this wonderful enveloping aura, but it's not personal. They envelop the person behind them as much as they envelop the person in front of them, which makes them, by the way, very vulnerable.
This open and enveloping aura. Just imagine there's a field of energy that surrounds you, and this field of energy is constantly attracting situations, people, things to you so that you have the opportunity to respond. And at the mechanical level, that attraction and this enveloping is not personal, as Ra said. And this is one of the most profound elements of all human design, is how there are impersonal mechanics. There are mechanics that are not personal. It's simply the way it is. It's simply what's happening. And so the mechanics of a generator aura is that not only is everything being drawn in towards you for the opportunity to respond and sort life through pranic response, everything around you is within your auric field. Everything around you is being influenced by you as a generator. Are you generating a field that is frustrated? Well, they might pick up on that. And it doesn't matter what you say. If you're frustrated and somebody is around you with an undefined sacral center, they're going to pick up on that frustration. It doesn't matter what you say. It doesn't matter what they say. It doesn't matter if either of you notice the frustration. It's there and it's happening. And that frustration comes from pretending yes when the sacral says no. Whereas the satisfaction comes from saying yes when the sacral is expanding into something and saying no when it doesn't. And as you find that satisfaction as a generator, you can feel this holistic energy field around you that's actually quite different. The fact that as a generator we can feel satisfaction, it quite literally dissolves the frustration in real time. As a generator, we can flip back and forth. Like if you're building up more and more and more and more frustration, and then you get a good dose of satisfaction, suddenly that frustration is gone. It literally doesn't matter because it's been dissolved in the light of satisfaction. And it's not personal. It's simply mechanics. It doesn't matter what you think about. It matters what you do. It matters where your decisions come from. Are they coming from your inner authority, your sacral or emotional center as a generator? Or is it coming from your mind becoming identified with an open center and something that belongs to someone else? Is your mind becoming attached and fixated upon things that don't belong to you, amplifying that energy and pretending to be certain when you're not, looking for love and direction outside of yourself, trying to avoid the problems, holding on to things that are bad for you, being busy simply for the sake of being busy, Or if you're simply preoccupied with things that don't matter. All these themes, all these dimensions can bring about the frustration through mental amplification of open themes. And fundamentally, that is the identification with what one is not. And so that's my wish for you, is to learn what you can successfully identify with and let go of the rest.
If you have enjoyed the show and would like to learn more about how all of this applies specifically to you, then kindly refer to the link in this video's description, Private Consultation. Here, we can dive into all of the details together in a recorded call. May your signature vibration of satisfaction, success, peace, and surprise find you in a good way.